With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Really excited today. I've got singer Rachael Fahim with me. So welcome, Rachael.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We've been talking offline. It's something crazy like 2:00 in the morning over there.
It's 6:30 a.m. actually. But yeah, it's
pretty
not
early.
I'm not a morning person, so it feels like 2:00 in the morning. I like to sleep in.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of a morning person. I don't sleep in, but I go to bed pretty early.
Oh, see, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. I've just never been an early sleeper. Ever since I was a child, midnight, I was like up and like, Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, I need water. I'm just not. I've never been that person, so I'm jealous.
Yeah. Well, my mother is the opposite from me, so she tends to stay up most of the night and then sleep till about noon.
Yeah,
and then she'll get up and start her day, which
my ideal day.
Yeah, I mean that's terrific unless you've got somebody that's the opposite living with you. So it drives my dad crazy, and he drives her crazy because he's up, making a lot of racket when she's trying to get some sleep.
Like, stop that noise.
Well, Rachel, I've been listening to your music for a while now, for a few months now, and it's excellent. I love the fact that it's it kind of reminds me of older country, but then it's poppy too, which I think is a really cool combination. So yeah, my wife added you to her playlist. So we have you playing, just popping up all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's actually crazy because it's like over here in Australia, the country music scene isn't as I don't know, I don't think it's as progressed as it is in America.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of the time that people are telling me that I'm too pop, that I'm not country enough. So for you to say that it actually means a lot to me because I don't know, I feel like my music's country and there's different levels of it. So I appreciate. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I think it kind of gets elements of both, which is a really nice. It's difficult, I think, to put out something new that still reminds you of things that you used to enjoy, and I think your music does that. Touches both.
Oh, amazing! Yes, thank you.
Yeah, really good. Country though is kind of popular in Australia, right?
It's getting there. Like in the last few years, it's really blown up, and people are starting to really get behind it and support it. But leading up to that, it's a lot smaller of an industry over here. And there's still that stigma around it. Like I know that when I've come to Nashville and parts of America, you walk into the shops and there's country music playing over the speakers, and you're like, this is amazing. Like I want to live here. But then you come back to Australia and it's like you would never hear a country song at the shops ever. Like very rarely now you do, but it's just like it's evolving. And I'm actually really excited because I think living here, it's creating more opportunities back on my home ground. And it means that I don't necessarily have to always travel to America to be, I don't know, heard with country music and be, I don't know, supported in that way of, everybody being inclusive around it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. Have you been out shopping and got to hear one of your songs come over the speakers?
You know what? I actually have in Woolworths. I don't know. Do you guys have Woolworths in the States?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know, I'll say a shop and it doesn't exist. But Woolworths is pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I was doing my grocery shopping and one of my songs came on. But I've had people send me videos of being out at a cafe and it's on, and I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It's kind of neat. To me, I don't know what I'd do if I heard something of mine.
Yeah, you second guess it for a second. You're like, hang on a second, I know this voice.
You start looking around to see if anybody's, enjoying it or not.
I haven't. I've usually just been too excited, like, oh my gosh, it's playing. But I think with the it's funny, like you have to try and also not be too like, I don't know, I don't want to say like cocky, I guess, like to be out there and be like, it's my song on the radio. Yeah. Just like low excitement levels, like, oh my gosh, yeah.
I think I would start like I'd be obvious. I'd start
Yeah.
walking around to see if anybody would recognize
Yeah, I'd be like, that's funny. Love it.
So you spent some time. I know you spent time in Nashville, but weren't you in, like at South by Southwest a few years back in Austin?
Yeah, a few years ago, I did South by Southwest, and it was amazing. It was really, really fun. And then I spent a bit of time just like traveling around, doing a bit of sightseeing, but that was definitely the highlight of the trip. Being able to perform and watching other artists as well. Like there was a few artists that I'm a huge fan of that I was able to say I performed alongside and that I actually went and watched, which is great.
Yeah, the festival scene, if you've never done it, everybody should experience it at least once.
Yeah.
Because it's different from just say going to a concert at a like a convention center.
It definitely is. Yeah. We have a festival that's slightly the same, like in certain ways, called the Tamworth Country Music Festival.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing, like a bunch of pubs and a bunch of locations around that city centre get involved, and they have live music, and some are ticketed, some are free. You get to walk around the street and kind of go pub to pub. And South by Southwest was very similar to that. I remember a few times I'd get those little electric scooters and I'd ride from one gig to the next. And it was great. I had the best time.
I'm impressed with that because I'm not confident enough in not being able to crash to get on them. So I rode the guys with the bikes that they had the little, they're like motorized bikes. I sat in the back, let somebody else drive them.
It's better. It's safe. Very safe.
Well, yeah, safer anyway.
Yeah. I know those motorized things. They go pretty fast. Like
they go really fast.
Like, whoa. Yeah. I think it's like.
Did you ride solo or did you have somebody with you?
Oh, solo. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some people going around with two at a time, and that just seemed precarious.
Oh, that would make me nervous.
Yeah. Oh, it made me nervous.
Yeah.
It didn't encourage me to stop walking and try one. I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm good, thanks. I'll walk. I'll use my feet.
So Rachael, talk a little bit about what got you into music. When did you decide, okay, I want to make music, and how did you go about that?
I don't know. I feel like the decision wasn't really a conscious decision. I've just always been doing music, and I feel like that's such a cliche answer. Everyone always says that, and I'm sick of saying it and hearing it. And I don't know. Everyone's like, I've been doing it since I was a baby. But it's true. And by the time I got to a certain age where I was able to spend my money and put it toward releasing music, it was just kind of a no-brainer. Like, I was like, yeah, I want to release my own song. So I did. But at the time I had a manager. She was my first manager and she was amazing. And it just, I don't know, made that whole process a lot easier to be releasing music so young, because it's very easy to make mistakes and release the wrong songs. But thankfully, I haven't done that. I don't regret any of my releases, even my first few.
That's pretty good. There's a few podcasts I'd like to have.
Yeah.
Early.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're there forever.
Yeah.
Once they're out there.
Yeah. It's kind of fun though, going back to listen to early stuff and listen to the mistakes and kind of see how far you've come. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like the first few songs that I've released in my music career definitely aren't up to par with the stuff that I'm releasing now, because my sound has changed, and the production, I've obviously gone from a smaller budget to maybe a larger one. Still not very large because independent artist things, but I've been able to use that money and then put it towards the next one, and it's just like a snowballing thing where over time I'm able to put more into it and make it sound better.
Yeah, that's right. So the newest song, I think, is City Girls in the Country, that came out a couple months ago now.
Yeah, I think it was about 2, maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love the song, and this one isn't my favorite that you do, but
Yeah.
it's my wife's. My favorite's the one you did before that, Darts in the Dark.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
dark.
But hers was this one.
Thank
Tell
you.
me a little bit about it. What's the song about? What kind of inspired you to do this
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about I don't know, being in, I guess, in Australia and doing country music. The other aspect of that is that I guess people aren't as accepting when you live in the city. Technically, I live like out of the city, but when you say Sydney, people think city.
one? That's
And
right.
I would go to country events and be like, oh, yeah, I'm from Sydney. And they're like, what's a city girl doing singing country music? And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, I don't get that question. Just because of, where I live means that I can't do country music. And I was just getting really tired of that question. And there were other things that people would say that insinuated that, just because I have a Lebanese background, people would be
Yeah.
like, oh, what kind of last name is Fahim if you're doing country? I'm like, that's actually very unfair. It's a very unfair assumption to make. And to label that, to label me with that question, I didn't like it. So I sat down with some friends and I was airing my frustrations. And the song actually started out sounding completely different. So we, spent a good couple of weeks on this one and got the idea down, got the sound down, and it just really evolved and became City Girls in the Country as it is now. So I love it, and I think it's probably the song that has the most to say out of all of the ones I've released. I've definitely been very vocal with my feelings around the situation on this one. But I don't know, as an artist, that's what you use your voice for. Like that, what's the point of being an artist if you're not going to say things that are important to you and speak your mind, which is what this song is.
Yeah. Yeah. I
In a
think that's
fun
exactly what
country way.
it is. See, I did my research, so I knew. I was like, don't ask her what a city girl's doing in the country.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. I
I'm
don't mind
sure you're
answering
not
it
the
sometimes.
only country singer that lives somewhere
No,
near a city.
no, definitely not. Like there's heaps of my friends that live out like closer to the city. I live about 45, 50 minutes out, depending on like traffic and all
Yeah, that's
that.
almost country right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm closer to a suburb which has acreage and sheep and chickens. And like I've had chickens on my property. Like, I
I
don't know.
think if you have
I've never
chickens,
understood the
that's
question.
country.
Thank you. Her name was Dixie.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
What's
Really
Dixie's
cute.
disposition though? Is
What
she
do
a
you mean by
friendly
that?
chicken or
Oh,
is
she's so
she
friendly.
okay?
Yeah. She was lovely. Miss her.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
got friends that raise chickens, and I get nervous around them, and they're actually really pretty nice animals, but I get
they
nervous around them.
are.
But they absolutely love them,
Yeah,
and the
they're very
chickens
cute.
follow them around when they do their chores, and it's just
Yeah.
it's like any other pet.
Yeah, they're beautiful little things, chickens.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Do you normally write most of your own music?
I've written, I say probably 50-50 of the songs
Yeah,
that I've released. And I do write quite a fair bit, but I love releasing songs by other songwriters if I relate to them, which, there's been a couple that I have released. And um, I don't know. I just, as soon as I heard them all, I was like, yep, I resonate with this, and I released it. And I love doing that because obviously there's writers out there that can say things in different ways and probably 10 times better than how I can say that thing. Like everyone's brain works differently. And
that's
yeah,
right.
I love it.
When you were growing up, did you sing at school?
I did, yes. I remember singing the national anthem. No, I'm kidding. They had a few talent quests at school and I entered them and it was really fun and all my friends were like cheering me on, which was really nice. But I think the other side of that is there was a few people that I guess saw what I did and weren't that nice to me. So, I tried by the end of high school, I didn't really associate the two together. So in the early days, I would do a lot of singing at school, but unfortunately kids are mean, and so I stopped.
Yeah, that's unfortunately that's just part of school. But you weren't involved in like a theater group, anything like that?
Well, I was part of the jazz band and the choir, but I hated both of them. Like, I don't know, I did not enjoy them at all. I think it was the people that were in there that I don't know, I didn't feel accepted. I didn't feel like it was my vibe. And yeah, I don't know, I preferred doing my own thing on the weekends and keeping it separate. Like I said, it was good for me to kind of keep the two apart.
Well, and it wasn't an issue with singing in a group, because I know you've done some group singing before.
Yep, I have. I was part of a girl band that I created with my manager. We had this idea and brought it to life, and it was great fun. We released a few songs, and but I decided it was probably easier to focus on my solo career, because I don't know, that's always been the priority to me. So yeah, it was a fun experience while it lasted.
Yeah, I think it would be not that I'm talented enough to do that, but I think it would be really it give you some insight into what other musicians are doing. So I think it'd be a good thing to do for a little while, and then go back and do more of your own stuff, and then maybe you picked up a few things.
Well, exactly. And I think like the whole idea behind, starting this group was to support my solo career. And there was another girl in it who was also a solo artist. So the idea was to have this band and put it together, and then, we could go on festivals and do our own thing, and then come together as a band. And it was all great. But yeah, I don't know, things happened, and I guess I decided that it was just my thing to go back to being solo, and it's been great ever since. I've loved it. And yeah, it's always been the main focus, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Did I see that you're doing NFT for the song?
I did, yeah. A few months ago, I went into the studio and like we recorded a video and like put together all these like little, I don't know what they call them, like the prizes, like the benefits. Is that, I don't know, I'm new to this world.
Yeah, I think so. The benefits, yeah.
Yeah. So I had a team help me put it all together, but I honestly, I have no idea what an NFT really does, or like I have a little bit of an idea, but I'm learning. I
thought that was a really neat idea though. So whoever came up with that one, that's pretty good.
I thought it was pretty cool. I think people are still very wary, I think, to NFTs and that like crypto stuff, and I don't know. I'm feeling like it's growing, but people are still like, oh, I don't know what that is. There's not a lot of awareness around what they do and what you can do, and I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows. We're all trying to figure it out.
Yep, I'm sure we'll
but you don't. But it's smart to get in on it, though.
Yeah, I was keen for it. Yep.
Yeah, pretty good. Is there a music video for City Girls?
There is a music video. Yeah. So we went on a bit of a tour with a bunch of my bandmates, and my partner came along, and we decided that this would be the perfect video clip to do one of those like DIY, like on the road, city girls in the country, like tour diary looking things. So I conned my partner into using my phone the whole trip and just filming everything. Like I even bought a new phone. I went to the shops and I was like, I need the best camera. So I'm going to go do this. And I was like, hold it landscape. And he was great. He's never done a video in his life before, like a videography.
Well, you got him good equipment. So you set him up for success.
I did, yes. I did. But it was great. Like he just got all the footage. And then when we got home, I sorted it into folders and I don't know, kind of did the beginning part of the editing process. And then we sent it off to a videographer who does this, as his job. And he put it all together and we've released the video. And it's actually probably my favorite video. Like there's little bits in there of the band just being absolutely goofy and just being silly and just, I don't know, it's fun. And that's what I wanted for this song. I wanted something fun and something real, because that's what the song is to me.
I think those are the best videos, the ones that give you a little insight into the artist.
Yeah.
I think those are really good because it kind of lets you know a little bit about their personality.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad you've said that, because that was my objective. Like just wanted my personality to come through and for people to be like, wow, that looked like a really fun trip.
Maybe she is a country girl.
Maybe. There's even a video like in there of me like washing my country boots after we went to this festival. It was all muddy and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can get down and dirty, like just because I live in the city.
That's great. Do you play any instruments?
I do. I play guitar, and
very nice.
I tried to play keyboard, but no, not much luck yet. Very basic. I'm just trying to teach myself, but yeah, happy to jump on stage with a guitar.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. My stepson is the musician in our family, and he had his first gig, at a bar this weekend, and he played keyboards and did pretty well. I was pretty pretty impressed. He's one of those that he picks up any instrument. You give him a few minutes, he can play it.
Oh,
so he'd never played keyboard before, but that's what the band needed. So he taught himself to play, and there he goes.
What a talented kid! Wow.
Yeah. I was very impressed with him. We were laughing a little because my wife posted the video. He had one song where he had a little keyboard solo, and she posted that.
Yeah.
And then he called her and he's like, "Why'd you post the song that I messed up the most on?"
She was like, "I didn't know."
I was like, "Yeah, it sounded great to us."
Oh, you guys aren't musicians?
No,
like you don't play an instrument? Yeah. So
no,
she didn't know.
My wife played trumpet in the band in high school, and my stepson's father is a musician, so he kind of got it, I think, from that. And it was really neat too, because his dad was there, and he'd been going to that bar his whole life watching bands, and then he got to see his son play on stage, and you could see the emotions and stuff we're getting to him. It was a fun night.
That's beautiful. That's really nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Do you intend to tour in this coming year?
I'm planning on it. Yes.
Yeah.
My team and I are working on getting like actually no, we've locked in I didn't know how much I could say just then. We've started working with a new booking agent. So I think next year we're really planning to jump out on the road and do a lot of the festival scene and try and lock in some solo shows, and I don't know, just do the whole thing.
Are you doing that in Australia, or are you coming to the States?
I'm thinking that most of it will be in Australia. But I have a tentative trip to the States locked in March. I haven't booked tickets yet, but it's in the calendar as like a TBC. But yeah, just waiting to see what happens, I guess, with the world. And I don't want to lock in a trip and then all of a sudden everything's shut down and again. And yeah.
Oh, I know. We did that. My brother was in Germany in 2020, and we were going to go over and then bounce around Europe. And of course, that was 2020, and we got locked down, so we never got to go. So I get that. Yeah. It's a little more secure now, but you just never know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and everyone keeps saying like, "Oh no, we're not going to shut down anything anymore," and then all of a sudden, like over here, I think there's certain things that are being cancelled and shut down again, and you're like, this doesn't give me much like security. Like, if I'm going to be spending money and locking aside time to go overseas, I don't know, it's just nerve-wracking, and I don't want to risk it. So I'm like, we'll see. Maybe I'll book like a last minute flight. Yeah Anyway.
Do you prefer singing live, or do you prefer recording in the studio?
I think I prefer recording in the studio, which I know that's a very odd answer for a live performing artist. I should enjoy doing it live.
Well, that is unusual. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, I think lately I've just been feeling, I think ever since like post the pandemic, I deal with a lot of nerves as I'm going on stage. And I'm petrified that I'm going to forget my words. And like, if I'm okay and I, know the song back to front, I'm fine. But there's certain songs where for some reason lyrics just don't stick. And I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. So I know that it's got something to do with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason my brain just doesn't retain some lyrics. So I get to certain points in songs, I'm like, I know this part, but I just freak out and I just end up going blank, and then I, end up having to fudge it. But professional, so I keep going.
That's right.
But I just think being in a studio is just a lot more calming for me. Obviously the outcomes are very different. Like if I smash a set like live, adrenaline's pumping, feeling great. And you don't get that in the studio. But the downside to performing live is if I mess up, then it's just like I beat myself up a lot on the inside. So
yeah, I get that, and that's awesome that you talk a little bit about that, because I think a lot of musicians have that issue, but they pretend like they don't.
Yeah,
it's difficult being up on stage in front of people.
It is, yeah. Like, and it's great fun. Like the response that you get when you've done a killer set is amazing. But like, I think there's high highs and low lows for me anyway. And I'm sure there's other artists that kind of feel the same, but I don't know. I'd love to hear how they deal with their nerves and how they remember.
If you need me to come in the audience with my cue cards and just kind of hold those up as you go through the song.
Just like in my ears. And the next line is
years ago, I went and saw a band called Tool. And the lead singer for Tool, he did the whole concert with his back facing the audience. Really? So he sung the opposite direction. Maybe you could try that.
Why did he do that? Sorry, I'm so tired. It's very early here.
No idea. I know. Who woke you up this early?
I don't know. Some guy.
I figured you'd show up in like a bathrobe and slippers.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I have got my PJ bottoms on down below. But you can't see that, so it's fine.
See, that's allowed on Zoom, though. None of us, exactly. We're only waist up. Nobody knows what's going on down there.
Exactly.
That's just we all have agreed we're not going to look too closely at that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What's next, Rachael? Do you have plans for a new song to be released? Are you working on an album? What's coming next?
Ideally, I do want to release an album soon, because I haven't had a debut album yet. I've had a debut EP, and then I just released a bunch of singles, which I actually think I really like doing that. I think the way that we do streaming and stuff now, people are going through singles.
Yeah, that's kind of what people do now. It's more like the one-offs, instead of the whole album.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I want to do something fun. I don't know yet, and I want to give too much away, but I do want to do an album of some sort, but make it like fun and make it interesting so that people are inclined to buy it, especially in this world the way it is with the singles. I don't know if I don't know how to I don't know what songs to put on an album yet, Right. Anyway, if you update.
That's part of the fun though, right? Figuring that out.
It is, yeah. Totally. But we've got the next few singles lined up and ready to go. We're just waiting on, I guess, the right time to drop them. But I'm really excited for the next few ones that we're putting out, because they're songs that I've written recently, and they're just all about experiences that I've been through. And I just really want to share them with people and get them out there for people to hopefully relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm assuming once you figured that out, once you're getting ready to release that, you'll put that on social media. So where can we find you on social media?
Yes. So I'm on Instagram at Rachael, which is the French way apparently. So AEL at the end. And then FAHIM music on Instagram. And then what am I on Twitter? I don't even know. I don't even use Twitter. Facebook, all of that, YouTube. It's just Rachael Fahim. Yeah.
I think that's pretty great. I actually think your name is pretty good for country music.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's a little different. So it kind of, it sticks in your head a little bit.
Yeah, I think I agree with that because there's not many people. Like if you search my name, I'm pretty sure there's like 2 other people that come up.
Yeah.
No matter how you spell it. Like there's always something. If you search, even if you spelled it wrong and you wrote Rachael Fahim, country music artist, it would come up. Yeah. So like I'm feeling pretty lucky that my name isn't like Rachel Jones or something like that.
Or how about Wall? If it was Rachel Wall, I guarantee there would be like a billion.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I like it. I'm happy.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Well, Rachael, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time, especially this early in the morning. Next time we do this, we'll reverse it. I'll get up early.
Amazing.
You can be comfortable in the middle of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You go and eat sleep. I think I might go back to bed. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to get up.
No. It's too. I can see the sun out there. You're not going to bed.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm staying up now. But it was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed our chat. So thank you for having me. I'd get up early again. Yes.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you so much. All right, hold on one second. All right, the talented Rachael Fahim. I think I got it right that time. I should have asked. I'm the worst with names. I think it's such a pretty name. I love the Australian accent. It's so nice to talk with somebody that also has an accent. Well, obviously, my West Virginia accent is pretty prominent. So that was a lot of fun. If you haven't heard of Rachael before, look her up. She has got a fantastic voice. I mean, just terrific. Especially if you're a country music fan, I think you'll really like her. Part of the issue that I have with newer country is I don't think that the songwriting is as strong as some of the older country. I'm biased, I think, to the country singers I grew up with. But Rachel's an exception. I think her songs are really well written and tell a pretty good story. So I think you'll like that. Look her up, Rachael Fahim. Had a blast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. I say this a lot, but we definitely don't take you for granted. Really appreciate that you come back to us. My son and I have been trying to grow this podcast for 4 years now, and we are coming up on our 500th episode. We should hit it, I think, right before Christmas, right around there. So we're pretty excited about that. I can't believe we've gotten this far, and it's all due to your support. If you're new to us and you like what you heard or what you've watched, there's a couple ways that you can support us, and they're free. Doesn't take too much. If you're watching, we're on YouTube, MeisterCon Pod. Just please subscribe. It'll give you access to all of our videos. There's hundreds of them on there. So I think you'll like that, and it definitely helps us out a ton. If you're listening, wherever you're listening to your podcast from, just subscribe there, and that'll also help us out. You can get all 500 episodes, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're traveling to see Rachael in Australia, that'll be on the website. If we're covering a convention, it'll be on the website, meistercon.com. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.